Welcome to the Deep Dive. We sift through stacks of information to bring you, well, the really important insights. And today, we're diving into something I think we all know, regret, those what-ifs that kind of hang around. But the good news is, we're looking at Mick Hampton's Delete Regret, Rewrite Your Past and Own Your Future. It's a 2025 action plan. And this isn't about, magically erasing the past. It's about changing its grip on you, unlocking your potential for a really bold, regret-free 2025.
Exactly. And our mission here is to pull out those intentional, actionable steps from Hampton's work. Steps grounded in real stories, yes, but also solid science. And why now? Well, there's definitely research backing this up. Studies show proactive steps reduce regret. It makes sense. You're aligning actions with values. And neurologically, your brain has this amazing plasticity. It can rewire old patterns. Seriously, that weight can become a growth opportunity.
Yeah, and to make it really concrete, let's talk about Elena from the book. A 45-year-old teacher. She had this deep regret, right, about not starting a bakery. Told herself she was too old, the dream is gone. But going through this process, something shifted. That painful what-if became an I did. She started small baking for friends, then markets. By 2025, a thriving side hustle. Real joy. That's the kind of change we're exploring. Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. Why do some regrets stick so hard, like a shadow you just can't shake?
It's a great question. And the book suggests it's often about feeling a better outcome was almost within reach, Like missing a flight by 5 minutes versus an hour, that closeness, it just sharpens the sting. Think about Sarah, the graphic designer in the book, 38. Regretted turning down a scholarship abroad years ago, but digging deeper, it wasn't just the scholarship, it was fear. Fear of failure holding her back from who she might have become. And your brain, well, plays a big part. The prefrontal cortex loves simulating alternatives. What if I'd said this? What if I'd done that? It can trap you in a loop. Then your amygdala, the emotion hub, links those what-ifs to actual sadness, anxiety, reinforces it. And it's not just mental, it's physical. Increased cortisol, the stress hormone, weakened immunity, poor sleep. There are even links to chronic pain. So yeah, cultural stuff, fear, they play a role. But regret, handled right, it can teach you a lot.
Right. And that idea, harnessing it for growth, leads straight to Hampton's first big step, naming your regrets. He guides you to list them specifically, like not telling Dad I loved him. Describe it, why it matters the value and how it feels. It's about acknowledging it without blame. Like Sarah realizing hers was tied to fear. That clarity is, well, it's crucial. Okay, wow, that physical toll part, yeah, a bit alarming. So if it's so ingrained, how do we actually start rewriting that narrative? Can we really shift perspective on old mistakes?
We absolutely can. And this is fascinating. Regret isn't just an event, right? It's the story we build around it. Dr. Dan McAdams talks about narrative identity, how our life story weaves past, present, future. But if regret dominates, the story becomes one of failure, limiting you. Elena's story was, I'm too weak for the bakery dream. It colored everything after. Her brain was literally reinforcing that negative story. But, and this is the hopeful part, we can change it. The book introduces cognitive reappraisal. Research backs this up strongly. Finding new meanings, silver linings. It genuinely reduces distress, boosts resilience. It's about actively challenging the story you've told yourself, finding the lesson hidden inside.
So it's not just about feeling better. It's like actively reshaping your emotional landscape, turning a dead end into a launch pad. The book suggests using the reframe lens, asking, okay, what else is true here? Beyond the negative spin, Marcus, the software developer example, is great. He saw himself as spineless in a toxic job, but reframing. He realized he stayed quiet to support his siblings financially. It wasn't spinelessness, it was loyalty, responsibility. Changes everything, right?
Precisely. And that leads to turning pain into purpose. It's powerful. Studies show finding meaning in setbacks boosts life satisfaction, motivates you forward. Think back to Elena. She didn't just mourn the bakery dream. She channeled that energy, built it. The pain became fuel.
And to really cement that new view, Dr. Kristen Neff's work on self-compassion is key. Self-kindness, common humanity, mindfulness. Research shows it massively reduces the emotional weight of regret. So the book guides you in rewriting your story with compassion, making it authentic, kind. Like Marcus's reframed story. The business failed, we both made mistakes, I learned communication. It's not denial. It's integration with kindness, looking forward.
Which brings up a good point, resistance. Our brains like predictable patterns, even painful ones. They feel, well, safer somehow. But the book offers strategies. Maybe scale back if the new story feels fake at first. Or a quick reset. Just note one small thing you did well today. Tiny actions can gradually shift your brain towards accepting the new, more empowering story.
That's a really useful tip. Okay, so we've understood reframed. How do we break free from that paralyzing what-if loop, the one that keeps us stuck?
The what-ifs. Psychologists call it counterfactual thinking, and research shows it's loudest when an outcome felt really close, like just missing that promotion. Priya, the marketing consultant in the book, regretted not taking a London job for years, constantly imagined this bolder life she could have had. That constant imagining, it fires up the default mode network, the DMN, your brain's autopilot for mind-wandering, rumination, overthinking central. And again, it's not just in your head, it's physical. Stress hormones, even higher hypertension risk. It literally weighs you down.
So the book offers the release ritual, a way to symbolically let go. You pick a specific what-if, acknowledge the pain, accept the past, and then physically release it, tearing up paper or whatever works for you. Jamal, the architect, used this for a missed tech investment regret. It helped him shift focus to now, not then.
And speaking of shifting focus, mindfulness. It's incredibly powerful for anchoring in the present. Studies show it quiets that DMN activity, lowers cortisol, stops the rumination cycle. Priya's story, again, she'd be zoned out at dinner mentally in London. Mindfulness helped her come back, gently, to the now.
And for quick technique, there's the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. Really practical. Pulls you into the present using your senses. 5 things you see, 4 you touch, 3 hear, 2 smell, 1 taste. A great circuit breaker for those spirals.
Yeah, it's effective. And, resilience, it's not fixed. It's a muscle you build. Research points to self-efficacy, believing you can do it, plus optimism and social support. Those are key. Jamal, after missing the investment, he took small actions, researched low-risk investments. It wasn't about getting rich, it was about rebuilding confidence, proving to himself he could act effectively, silencing the what-ifs.
Which is where the resilience builder exercise fits in. Identify a strength you already have. Take one small, achievable action related to a regret, and then importantly, celebrate that win. It's about building tangible proof for yourself. You are capable, you can adapt. Okay, so taking action. It feels big, but the book emphasizes it's not always about massive leaps, right? Courage isn't about not being scared.
Absolutely not. It's acting despite the fear. And the source material hammers this home. Small, intentional actions beat grand gestures every time. Research finds these incremental steps boost self-efficacy, that belief you can succeed. Look at Aisha, the nurse wanting to write a novel. Totally overwhelmed. She started with just 10 minutes a day. Why does that work? Your basal ganglia, the habit part of the brain, loves repetition. Small successes release dopamine. It literally rewires you for action, not paralysis.
So the micro-action challenge. Pick one tiny thing, 5-15 minutes to do it now. Just ignite that spark, get the ball rolling.
But what about that fear? That indecision that just freezes you? Well, your amygdala, the brain's alarm, flags uncertainty as danger, leads to analysis paralysis. We've all been there. Leo, the graphic designer, stuck in a dead-end job, regretted it for years. Fear of failure, fear of change. He broke through by taking one online UX course. Tiny step. It bypassed the overthinking, proved he could learn without disaster.
And the book gives us the courage cycle for this. Name the fear, challenge it, take a tiny step, reflect, build on it. Leo's course was that tiny step. He reflected, saw progress, built on it, steadily moved forward.
And here's something crucial: aligning actions with your values. This is fundamental for regret-free living. Often regret stems from choices clashing with what we deeply value. Studies show when actions align with values, Aisha's creativity, Leo's growth, life satisfaction goes up, future regret goes down, even if the results aren't perfect.
Which leads to the values to action map exercise. Link regrets to core values, then brainstorm small actions that honor those values today. It makes sure every step feels meaningful to you, building a future you genuinely won't regret. Okay, so we've done the deep work on understanding, reframing, building courage. Now, how do we intentionally design a future that prevents new regrets?
It's really about defining a fulfilling future based on your values, not what others expect. The book talks about eudaimonic well-being. That's living for purpose, not just pleasure. And research links this to lower regret, higher satisfaction. Remember Sophia, the accountant, regretting neglected music? Her vision wasn't just about money. It was about creativity, connection.
And you define that with a future you visualization. Imagine it's 2030. You're living a life you're proud of. What's key? What values shine through? Then you craft a vision statement for 2025, pulling those ideals closer.
And to make that vision real, set bold, achievable goals using SMART. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. We know this framework, right? Studies confirm SMART goals boost motivation and success. Raj, the project manager, regretting poor health, his bold goal was a half marathon. But he broke it down. Run 10 minutes, 3 times a week, achievable steps.
So the regret-proof goal setter exercise helps you take your big vision, pick one element, set a SMART goal for it, and then crucially, break it down. Makes the dream feel real, doable.
And a vital piece here is prioritizing what truly matters. Research finds aligning time and energy with core priorities means less regret, more well-being. Maya, the young entrepreneur, she shifted from chasing external validation to prioritizing connection, balance, realized that's what mattered, reducing her risk of future regret.
You do that with the priority filter.
Yeah.
List your commitments, rate them against your vision and values, then strategically prune the low alignment stuff, amplify the high alignment ones. It's basically intentional living, guarding against future I wish I hads.
And it all clicks with your brain, you see. Clear goals help the prefrontal cortex focus, reduce impulsive choices that lead to regret, value-aligned actions, dopamine release. Feels good, keeps you going, and those small actions, they bypass the amygdala's fear alarm, build confidence step by step, big shifts become possible.
Mindset really does seem like the engine here. How do we train our brains for this kind of sustained growth, especially around something like regret?
Yeah, it's crucial, and Carol Dweck's growth mindset is central. People with a growth mindset see challenges as learning opportunities, not failures. They dwell less on regret. This links directly to neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself. It's not fixed. Think of Javier, the teacher with public speaking fear after a past failure. Fixed mindset. Shifting to growth. He practiced small gigs, built confidence, became a skilled speaker. The brain adapted.
So the book has the optimism shift exercise. Take a regret, find the opportunity in it now, practice positive self-talk, look for supporting evidence. Lena, the cafe owner, regretting not expanding sooner, reframing with optimism helped to see and act on new growth strategies.
Yes. But what about that pesky negativity bias? Our brains are wired to focus more on the bad stuff. Cognitive restructuring from therapy tackles this head-on, challenges those negative thoughts. Javier challenged "I'm not a speaker" by listing teaching successes. Reframe the failure as one learning event, not his whole identity.
The Balance Builder exercise helps with this. Identify a negative, regret-based thought, challenge it with evidence, reframe it into a fairer view. It's about consciously fighting that bias.
And this isn't a one-off fix. It's built through habits. Habits drive a huge chunk of our daily actions. Zara, the designer, built habits like journaling strengths, practicing saying no. That's how she overcame regret about boundaries.
The Mindset Habit Loop framework makes it practical. Choose a small habit, link it to a cue, a reward, track it, reflect. Makes rewiring your brain feel manageable. Regret often involves people, relationships. How do connections help us heal and move forward?
Oh, massively. Regret often has a relational core, doesn't it? Research shows strong connections buffer regret's intensity. Support helps us reframe. Take Amara, the therapist regretting a strained relationship with her sister Nia. Rebuilding wasn't just nice, it had neurological perks. Oxytocin, dopamine release. Calming, the amygdala. Social bonds literally help our brains process regret better. Heal.
And the book offers the amends process, owning your part, crafting a genuine apology. Tariq, the engineer who apologized after a business fallout, found huge relief. It reduced his guilt, even if the friendship wasn't fully restored. Research confirms this effect.
And rebuilding trust after amends, it hinges on behavioral consistency, way more effective than grand gestures. Our brains value predictability in relationships. Amara's consistent weekly calls with Nia, that's what rebuilt the bond, slowly, reliably.
The book also really pushes fostering a support system. Social capital, the strength from connections boosts resilience, helps overcome regret. Remember Elena and her bakery? She leaned on friends, the market group, turned her regret into a shared journey. Community support was key.
But what about barriers? Fear of rejection, shame, they're real. The book acknowledges this, offers quick resets. Like, if shame stops you reaching out, maybe write, "I am worthy of love." It's always about small, brave actions to break isolation, build those connections.
Okay, so we've transformed ourselves. How do we turn that wisdom from past regrets into something bigger? Something that inspires, leaves a legacy?
It connects to post-traumatic growth. Struggles, even regrets, can forge purpose, resilience. Noah, the nonprofit director regretting past burnout, that failure fueled him to start a workplace wellness program. His brain integrated that tough experience into a guiding narrative for future impact, turned pain into wisdom.
The Wisdom Harvest exercise is exactly that. Take a regret, ask, what did this really teach me? Synthesize it into a core lesson, actively mining your history for insights.
And then sharing your story. Incredibly powerful. Studies show sharing stories of overcoming adversity builds connection, motivates others. Leela, the chef, used her regret about a toxic boss to mentor young cooks on self-advocacy. Her story became a guidepost.
The story sharer helps craft that narrative. Make it concise, impactful. Plan how to share it. Friend, audience, whatever fits. Consciously turning challenges into inspiration.
And crafting a legacy reflecting your purpose. It's not about fame, it's coherence between values and impact. Research links purpose-driven actions to less regret, more satisfaction. Noah's wellness program created a culture of care, lasting impact.
The Legacy Blueprint brings it together. Revisit purpose, imagine impact, choose a project, plan the first step. Makes leaving a mark feel intentional, achievable.
And the science backs this up too. Creating impact, sharing stories, activates the brain's reward system. Dopamine, oxytocin. It fosters well-being, yes, but also actively reduces rumination on past regrets. Leaving a mark helps your brain move on.
Okay, this is where it truly crystallizes. A personalized, actionable roadmap for 2025. Taking it from insight to action. For you.
Right. And that personalized action plan, it's incredibly powerful. Research shows structured plans boost goal achievement, reduce decision fatigue, gives your brain clarity. Kai, the marketing strategist regretting not pursuing photography. His 2025 plan course, Exhibit, became his bridge, turned what if into I did.
So first, the insight synthesis exercise. Pull together all your reflections, regrets, new narratives, values, commitments, everything we've discussed. It creates a solid foundation, a springboard for your plan.
Then, the 2025 Action Plan Builder. Set 2-3 SMART goals, like Kai's course and Exhibit. Break them down into specific actions, deadlines. Identify supportive habits, and crucially enlist support, like Kai did with his friends.
And tracking progress becomes your compass. Kai used an app, journals, check-ins is how you know you're actually moving forward.
Absolutely. And the science shows tracking reinforces self-efficacy, that belief you can do it. Plus, hitting milestones triggers dopamine, feels good, motivates you to keep going.
So the progress tracker helps you set measurable markers, plan celebrations for milestones, and visualize your progress. See how far you've come. Build momentum.
But life happens, right? How do we adapt without new regrets? The key is psychological flexibility from acceptance and commitment therapy. Flexible people adjust actions but stay true to values. Less regret over setbacks. Sophia adjusting her open mic timeline due to her promotion. She stayed true to creativity, no regret about the change.
The adaptation compass helps here. Anticipate obstacles, plan contingencies, develop strategies to adjust while staying focused on values. Staying regret-free even when plans change. So living without regret. It's not a destination, is it? It's more like a daily practice. Intention, courage, authenticity.
Exactly. And a huge part is embracing imperfection as freedom, linked deeply to self-compassion. Self-compassion calms the fear center, strengthens problem-solving parts of the brain. Anika, the designer whose project flopped, she saw it as a chance to learn, adapt. That mindset shift was everything, led to her thriving studio.
The imperfection embrace exercise tackles this. Identify that fear of not being good enough, reframe it as part of growth, practice self-kindness, and then take an imperfect step anyway.
And related to that, celebrating progress, not just outcomes. It's vital. Celebrating small wins reduces regret, boosts satisfaction, engages the brain's reward system. Dopamine again. Raj didn't hit his half-marathon goal due to injury. Instead of regret, he celebrated running 6 miles, a huge gain. Focused on the effort, the progress.
Progress celebration encourages this. Regularly review actions, name wins, intentionally celebrate, maybe use visual reminders, solidify the progress.
And sustaining this, it comes down to reinforcing habits and social accountability. Habits automate the good stuff, support keeps you going. Kai's continued photography beyond 2025, not luck, built on habits, encouragement.
The regret-free sustainer framework helps maintain momentum, reinforce habits, strengthen support, set new micro goals, schedule reflections, keep it flowing long-term.
But setbacks will happen. How do we navigate them without new regrets? Cognitive reappraisal again, reinterpreting challenges as growth opportunities. It reduces distress, boosts problem solving. Neurologically, the planning center overrides the fear response. Sophia's stage fright became a growth opportunity because she chose to see it that way.
So the Setback Navigator helps you prepare, anticipate setbacks, reframe them as growth, choose a tool from the book, plan a small response, proactive resilience.
And what's so powerful is how this all interconnects with brain science. Self-compassion, celebrating progress, they engage the reward system. Habits automate good actions. Support reduces stress, boosts resilience. Neuroplasticity means you can change. It all works together, building a sustainable, regret-free life that's uniquely yours.
Wow, what an incredible journey we've covered. Facing regret, understanding it, reframing it, breaking free, taking action, designing the future, mastering mindset, healing through connection, turning lessons into legacy. We've laid out this whole 2025 action plan blueprint. And the biggest takeaway, you are not your regrets. You absolutely are capable of growth, transformation.
It's so true. Living without regret isn't about perfection. It's a continuous choice. Aligning with values, acting intentionally, partnering with your brain's capacity for change. And remember the ripple effect, your journey. It inspires others, that contagion of courage research. It's real. Your transformation can light the way.
So as we wrap up, our encouragement to you is simple. Take one small step from your plan today, a micro action, a self-compassion moment. Reach out to your support system. Just one step. Start now. And maybe leave this deep dive considering this. What's one aspect of the future you're designing today that, when you achieve it, will finally replace what if with a powerful I did, creating your own legacy of courage and authenticity?